Hello and welcome back to Firewall. So I've recorded the audio for this video about 2 times already, and I didn't really like them that much. The second one was better than the first one, but they're both very rambly, and maybe that's how this one will be as well. I made this video back in November, and I haven't put out anything since, because I guess I've just wanted to get this video out first, but I wasn't really sure how to present it, and I don't have a lot of time alone in a space where I can record without disturbing other people, or there being other noises in the room. This will just be sort of a one-sided conversation video where I tell you a little bit about what's been going on in my life recently, and yeah. As opposed to my other walk in this Arboretum video back in October, this one was for a different purpose. I have been trying to get in the woods more here, because I really miss that from back home. I miss a lot of things from back home. Since getting here, I have felt like I don't really know who I am anymore, because it feels like everything that made me who I am is back home. And I also realized that I rely so much on validation from other people that I rely on them to basically tell me who I am. So when I started from scratch with not really any close friends at all, there are several nice people here that I'm friends with, but nothing close and long as back home. When I got here with no close connections like that, I felt like I didn't know who I was anymore. And with all the pressure and stress of transitioning and getting used to classes, and also living with 2 strangers, it has been very overwhelming for me. I've gone through different emotional states and just a lot of identity confusion right now. So anyway, this is an effort to try to bring those things back. Slowly I've been trying to bring back little pieces that remind me of who I want to be and what I like. So spending more time in nature is definitely a must, because I think it really helps me recharge and reset, especially because there are so many people around all the time, and that can get a bit overwhelming for me. So I really need to take time to myself where I don't feel the pressure of being perceived by other people. Of course there's creatures in the woods, but I feel like they're sometimes less judgmental than people, or at least I'm very judgmental of myself and come up with how I think other people perceive me, and I get very worried about that for some reason. Anyway, I was feeling very lost when I took this walk, and I also, aside from validation and perception, when things are out of my control, it's also overwhelming for me, especially when I'm not in control of how people perceive me. And I'm not in control of how people perceive me. I can show what I want to show, I guess, but people will always interpret differently and have their own views on things. So I have to remind myself that I have no control over how people choose to perceive me. I can just be myself. But I think the problem is that throughout many years, I became so accustomed to adapting myself to other people to be more likable that I lost who I was at my core, I guess. And also with the stress here, it's been hard to, I've been a bit tense lately, and I don't really like that. Not so much being upset about being tense, but just being in a not good mood overall, and I don't like that because it changes how I interact with other people. Something that one of my roommates pointed out was perhaps that I needed to adjust my expectations, because it seems I set my expectations high for a lot of things that I can't control. Unfortunately, you can't always set your expectations high on people or places, and it might hinder your experience if your expectations are too high, because if they're super high, then anything a little less will seem like a disappointment. So while I can hopefully expect certain good things from a place or person, perhaps I should not expect everything to go as I imagine it to, and that might help. The only thing I can set my expectations on really strongly is myself and how I want to be. Anyway, that's just a little conversation that the 2 of us had. Anyway, it's just difficult when you're meeting a lot of different people, and they don't all think the same way as you. Another thing to feel like myself is I've decorated my part of the dorm with as much as I can to remind me of my room and nature and things that I like. and the person that I want to be, because I miss my room back at home, and I miss my house and the environment which I spent 17 years, almost 18 now, living in. And I think that was a really huge foundation that was very nurturing into who I was, and I felt very safe and like something I could always return to remind me of who I am and what I like and where I come from, I guess. I don't know, it felt like I didn't realize how big of a support system I had back home until I got here. And I understand that this is a very privileged problem to have. I'm so grateful that I got into this college, and I'm so grateful that I'm able to go to college. And I recognize that so many people can't do that, and so that's one of the reasons I'm really trying to change my mood and mental state about this, because I really want to appreciate it more and have a better time here. I think it's also because my friends and I didn't hang out a lot at home, but that's just how we were. We were introverted people, and when we hung out we had a wonderful time, but we also were okay not hanging out because we all have our own hobbies, but we knew that our friendship was still super strong. Like, I don't think any of us ever doubted that, depending on how much we hung out or not. The thing is, here, I feel like maintaining new friendships is so important because you're not close friends yet, and so you don't have that kind of relationship understanding that you're that close or that you'll be there for each other, and you really have to grow a friendship from the beginning. And my close friendships back at home took months, if not several years, to develop this strong. And I'm not going to find that this year, but there are some wonderful people here, and I think I would love to be closer friends with some of them. Okay, so another update. Let's see, I tried rugby this semester for the first time. I felt like I owed it to my younger self because I was very aggressive on the basketball court. I would tackle people and I enjoyed it. This was back in elementary school, by the way, so nothing serious. I feel like that is when I was more myself, not tackling people, but in elementary school and middle school and stuff, I was less concerned with how people perceived me, but that's kind of when that fixation on my perception started, I guess, because, you know, I was told I was too loud or too much or too noisy or annoying. I would get weird looks or something, and I was just enjoying myself and having fun. So in middle school I learned to be a bit quieter, and then in high school I was very quiet for a while until senior year. Well, I started finding myself more during the summer of COVID because I had a lot of time to think. And then I got a bit more confident sophomore year. Junior year, when I cut my hair and I stood up to a teacher for the first time when I felt it was right, I think that helped my confidence. And then senior year, I felt pretty comfortable with myself because also I was in a cohort of kids for 2 years because I did IB. So I felt like they understood me. And if they liked me, that was wonderful, and if they don't, then I accepted that, because why should I care about the opinions of people who don't care about me? That took a while to sink in. But I always had my close friends in IB. They were always there to support me. And so, gosh, where did this come from? Rugby. Sorry. Anyway, what I mean is that I wasn't worried about how people would see me. And so I'm trying to feel that way again. And rugby, it was a challenge because I was very scared that I would be really bad at it and embarrass myself, which I did, but I'll tell you about that later. Anyway, I was very hesitant, but my mom said, just think of it as a challenge. Like, it's not even a big commitment, it's just club rugby, but just try it, because it'll be a good challenge to yourself. You'll meet new people, maybe learn a new skill, maybe even enjoy it. But if you don't, then no harm done. So I did. I showed up, and there was a girl I knew doing it, so that helped a lot to feel like I wasn't, like, at least I had one person to laugh with or support me, and that was great because she was so encouraging, and I really appreciate that. And then when the season started up, the girls team practiced with the boys team because the girls team is so small, and we didn't do any games. The guys team did, but the girls team didn't. Anyway, so it was just pretty much practice. The girls were so nice, which I didn't really expect, because I feel like sometimes in male-dominated spaces, women can be competitive with each other, but they were so sweet and encouraging. And I really, really appreciated that. Nevertheless, it was evident that I was the worst person on the team. I didn't understand what they were saying when they used the terminology, and even other kids who were completely new to rugby seemed to catch on so well, and I didn't get it. And when they would give me instructions or explain a drill, I couldn't understand, and I would just mess it up and slow it down for everybody. And that made me really upset and embarrassed because I felt like I was ruining practice for everyone else, and it was very obvious that I was not good. I talked with the coach, and they were very nice and understanding, and I decided to also talk with the 3 upperclassmen leaders of rugby who were also students, but they were more of the leaders of it as well. So I emailed them, and they were also so nice and understanding and made me feel a lot better. And I stopped worrying so much about what the other kids thought of me, because I knew that the leaders and organizers, I knew that they understood, and that they understood. I explained that I was trying my best, but it's just how I am. I'm just not as good. I don't understand instructions as well, and that's just how I'm going to be. I can try as hard as I can, but that's how it is. They were so nice about it, and they said they understood, and that they recognized that I was trying. And it's not a big deal at all, because it's just club rugby, and that there's a place for everybody. And also, I'm only able to go once a week anyway, when it's supposed to be 3 times a week. But they assured me that nothing was wrong, and it was all good. So that made me feel a lot better. So I didn't worry about what the other kids were thinking of me as much. Later on, there was a day that I started fixating on how people perceived me at rugby, and that threw off the rest of the afternoon, the whole night, the next morning, and a couple days into a week. And that is when I took this walk, because, I don't know, it just made me so sad and fixating on it, and not wanting to go outside. It's not even, I didn't do anything bad at all. I was just worried about the way I was perceived again, because I don't know, I embarrassed myself a bit, and I was worried I looked stupid or sounded stupid and silly and over dramatic, and it made me very upset. And I'm still wish I hadn't gone that night, but I should just forget it. It doesn't matter, because they probably have too, but it sticks with me for some reason. It's not even a big deal at all. Anyway, yeah, sorry, I keep saying anyway. I took the walk, and I did feel a lot better. I felt back in a place that I understood, that I didn't feel stupid or slow. I felt like I didn't have to be anyone for anyone else. I could just act as I am, talk to myself, whatever, find big leaves, and look at ducks and stuff. And I very much enjoyed my time. I'm working on being more confident, working on doing things and working through them, and pushing past anxiety and fear of judgment, and weighing if the reward is worth the risk. Like right now, I wouldn't go skydiving because to me the risk is worse than the reward. But going and meeting up with a friend or someone that you want to be friends with, there's not a ton of risk except for maybe seeming silly or embarrassing yourself some way, or just it not working out. But the reward would be getting a new friend. I'm trying to do that more, to go do more things and stop being so afraid. And also to stop craving and getting validation from other people when I really need to be figuring out how to get validation from myself, for myself, by myself, and being confident in who I am, and not changing myself for people who really don't care about how I am on the inside. I suppose this could in some way be a metaphor for my life overall right now, because I have been feeling a bit lost. And I suppose, as with now, sometimes the best thing you can do instead of trying to discover a new path to get you unlost is to retrace your steps. They were just going underwater for a moment. Little ducks. Oh, like that. That's what they're doing. Some other small things I've been doing to feel more creative and like myself and grounded, I guess. Something new I've tried is wearing sparkly eyeshadow sometimes because it makes me feel just fun. Like something sparkly and something interesting to look at and a little magic in my day. I've been rewatching some shows and movies that I really loved. Trying to do some more things with other people. Making little decorations for my dorm. Doing some writing. And incorporating my creativity or things that I enjoy into my school projects. Which I've been very grateful for the ability to do so. So this is what I got. But as you can see, there's a lot more on it. I didn't realize it was like that on both sides. There's like a hollow place on both sides. How interesting. I'll look at it some other time. Right now I'm gonna go find myself some more. Ooh. Ooh. Look at how pretty. Anyway, I'm gonna go find myself some more big leaves and then I will get lunch and go back to the dorm. And finish watching the last Twilight movie, some sketches for my art class. Yeah, it should be a good day. Not too difficult. I'll check what other homework I have for my other classes. I will be home soon, so hopefully I can work on some more videos and just do things that I enjoy and feel more like myself. I went on this walk feeling like I was losing myself, and I came back feeling more grounded because there was something that connected me to my home and reminded me that it's okay to feel out of place, because I think that's the big thing. I think I felt out of place here just because of all of the unexpected things that I wasn't able to plan for. Because when I write my stories or do my art or make music, I can control what the characters say and what they do and how they react. And when I make these videos, they're curated and what you see is manipulated by me to an extent. Sometimes I don't catch things, but I think I'm just used to having a lot of control on my creative projects. And there are a lot of unexpected things that happen sometimes here, and I just need to be better prepared to handle them. Yes. Okay, I think that's probably all good for now. I hope I wasn't confusing. Bottom line is get validation from yourself, do things to feel like the person you want to be, and don't worry about the opinions of people who don't care about you or the things that you care about. To clarify, I don't mean disregard their opinion completely, I just mean don't take whatever it is to heart. As long as you're happy being you and you're not hurting anyone, then just be confident in who you are. Sometimes things turn out different than you intended or expected. Sometimes you go into the woods to take a walk. Sometimes you come out of the woods with a handful of giant leaves that made you happy. I think this works. Thank you so much for listening to my very long ramble. I hope it made sense, but I cannot control how you interpret it. I have to remember that as I'm reminding myself every day. I'm gonna go, and I will see you in another video, hopefully. So, goodbye for now from far away, and I hope you have a lovely rest of winter.